Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our regular meeting. I will now call the meeting to order. The agenda is there before you. Can I have a motion to approve, please? Moved by Councillor King, seconded by Councillor Crowley. All those in favour? Those against? Motion is carried. Minutes of the meeting from August 20th.
I need to change something on the agenda.
Okay, go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
Sorry.
Yep.
There is a error on the second page, the third paragraph, just before it's the last resolution E. It should be section 4041 instead of 401.
Okay, thank you very much. Duly noted. Okay.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
No problem. Any other things related to the minutes of the meeting August 20th? No? Okay. Business arising? Nothing? Okay, we'll move to correspondence, and I have two pieces of correspondence which I will read out on your behalf. His Worship Mayor Gary Gooby, Your Worship, on behalf of the crew of HMCS St. John's, I would like to extend our deepest gratitude and heartfelt thanks to the Town of Holyrood for your remarkable support and generosity during the 2024 Run the Rock event. Your contributions and ongoing commitment have played a crucial role in our recent success. We are thankful for your support and are thrilled to share that we have exceeded our fundraising goal and raised an astounding amount of over $156,000 for Make-A-Wish Newfoundland. These funds will go toward granting wishes and truly changing the lives of deserving children with critical illnesses in Newfoundland and Labrador. This achievement far surpasses our expectations and stands as a testament to the extraordinary dedication and community spirit of partners like you. Your town's involvement and generosity help make a profound impact, ensuring that more and more deserving local children will have their wishes granted. We are deeply appreciative of your role in making this event such a memorable and successful endeavor. It is through the collective efforts of towns across Newfoundland and Labrador, such as yours, that we are able to advance our objectives and make a tangible difference. We are very grateful for your partnership and look forward to continuing our collaboration in the future. Thank you once again for your exceptional generosity and commitment to this cause. Your support truly makes a difference. And that's signed with appreciation from Jeffrey Anderson, and he's the commander and captain of the HMCS St. John's. So that is fantastic news to see that they have surpassed their target this year. And I'm pleased to say that the Town of Holyrood has been participating in this annual event for many, many years. And, you know, they did a great job, continue to do a great job, and will certainly grant many wishes for children, you know, with critical illnesses. So that's good. Okay, the next one is from Newfoundland, Labrador. Climate change, flood mapping for Conception Bay. The Department of Environment and Climate Change has contracted Stantec Consulting Limited to conduct a climate change flood risk mapping study for communities in Conception Bay, which includes the Town of Holyrood. Representatives from Stantec will soon be in contact to support the development of a detailed understanding of flooding issues in Holyrood, along with an understanding of future development plans for the community. Your participation in this is greatly appreciated. So that is from Hassan Khan, PH Power Engineer, Director of Water Resources Management Division. So I would say that the Public Works Committee will be working with that group because we have been discussing climate change in several of our Public Works meetings, the flood risk mitigation, the severity of weather right now when it comes to heavy rainfalls and stuff like that. So this will be a great piece of work to add to what we've been trying to do to mitigate flooding issues in the community. Any questions or comments? Okay, if not, we will move on to planning and development. And Deputy Mayor Woodford, you're up.
Good evening, everybody. The Planning and Development Committee, we met on September 12th at 6 p.m. via Zoom with our CAO Marjorie Gibbons, the Infrastructure and Public Works Director Robert Stacey, Councillor Windsor, and myself in attendance. 7 applications were reviewed during our meeting. 2 were recommended for approval. 1 application was not recommended, and 3 were required. We required additional information on. The other application was reviewed, but further investigation needed to be done at the Infrastructure and Public Work Committee level. There was 1 piece of correspondence received, and we also discussed issues with assigning civic addresses to our new bills. And it's becoming an issue of we're getting off from the regular numbers and we're getting into A and B and C and everything else, which we don't want to be doing because it's not correct method for assigning numbers. So we recommended engagement with our town planner and his team. So they are going to be asked to review our road system, our streets, and determine the correct civic addresses. So they're going to assign those in the future for when we get new bills. We've also scheduled a date of September 24th to meet with the town planner to discuss the recommendations from the public engagement sessions with regards to the town plan. So hopefully that meeting will move ahead. Other than that, I believe that's it for planning and development. Is there? Okay. All right. So I'll move right into the motions then, if that's okay.
Okay.
So our first motion, of course, is our permits. Be it resolved to table and approve the attached permit listing. 12 permits were issued from August the 15th to September the 10th, 2024, and those are under permit number 08-0112-24 to 09-0123-24, and includes permits for patio, general repairs, residential, site prep, accessory building, extension, and fences. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Woodford, seconded by Councillor Windsor. Further discussion? If not, all those in favor, those against, motion is carried.
The next is for 523 to 527 Conception Bay Highway. It's a 1-lot development of 3. The proposal is residential and it's RMD zoned. Be it resolved to approve the above application and request in principle, subject to the town's municipal plan and development regulations. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor King. Further discussion? So that's pretty well straightforward application.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, all those in favor? Those against, motion is carried.
The next is for 36 Butterpot Road. It's a commercial extension on a building. The zoning is RMD. Be it resolved to approve the above application in principle, subject to the town's municipal plan and development regulations. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Woodford, seconded by Councillor Crawley. Further discussion, questions? All those in favor, those against, motion is carried.
The next motion is for delegation of power to issue orders. Within the duties of council to ensure a safe and peaceful town for residents to reside and be content in, the town has the right to issue an order in some relevant statutory provisions as listed in 404 1 to 6 of the Municipalities Act. Therefore, to move forward with the responsibilities and expectations of the Act, the Town of Holyrood is delegating the power to issue orders to the position of CAO. This motion allows Council to act more efficiently when facing issues within the town which require corrective action by others. The types of action covered under such an order can be found under Section 404(1) of the Municipalities Act. So the motion is, be it resolved that pursuant to Section 404(6) of the Municipalities Act, the Town of Holyrood delegates the power to issue orders under Section 404(1) to the Chief Administrative Officer of the Town of Holyrood, provided that Council is notified immediately of any orders issued. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Crawley. Further discussion? If not, all those in favour? Those against? Motion is carried.
And that is it for the report from Planning and Development.
Okay, thank you very much. And now we'll move on to Recreation and Community Events. We have Councillor King and Councillor Tilley.
Okay, well, I have a little update here about the recreational update. We didn't meet as such, but we did have a short conversation just to go over the conclusion of a few things. So I have them wrote down. Any questions or concerns, obviously, we'll go over. So this year, as everybody is aware, the Squid Fest was a great success. Most events are sold out. The Director and Recreational Committee tracked the attendance of the events to keep a report of the festival for any improvements that's going to happen next year. Of course, everything that we do, we always have to learn how to improve it again next year and make sure it's safer and better. The overall attendance exceeded everything that we had hoped for. Most events were sold out. One of the big things we did change at the Squid Fest was the actual corral, the way the people went in to pick up their beer and their alcoholic beverages. That was a great success. We did identify that the ticket booth needs to be a little bit tweaking on where that is, so we look forward to making the improvements for next year to make it run even better. This year there was more local support than we had in past years. Local support from sponsors, which really shows the commitment that the community has for the Town of Holyrood and for the festival. The profits that did come from Squid Fest will be, of course, put back into the recreational infrastructure, the facilities, and the programs going forward. Our summer programs have come to an end. As of course we all know, it's that time of year. Moose hunters are out and fall is in the air. Fall programs, of course, are on the way. When one finishes, the other one starts. So some of the programs that have already been started, up and running, the after school hangout, Walking with Wellness, and our old favorite, which includes the Active for Life and the Mini Movers. Now, I know I've heard a lot of good things about the Mini Movers. They haven't, some started and some are starting soon. The residents can expect the fall activity guide to be in the mail, everybody's mailbox next week, and I'm sure, like me, you'll be posted on the bulletin board and seeing what's on the go and what's coming up. The Holyrood Fall Festival returns again in October. Of course, we all have a few things that we love. I know personally I love the Truck Spooktacular. That is a grand bit of fun when you're with the kids and you're decorating your vehicles, and it's a safe place for trick-or-treating.
You've been doing that for many years.
We've been doing it for many years. Started small and now it's expanded.
I think right from the get.
And the work
start.
that people put into their vehicles and their trailers is phenomenal. The Tasty Trail. I think I've heard another councillor say how good the Tasty Trail is. We can't wait for that one. And the Holyrood Harvest Hoedown. I can't even say that one. And the full details will be out next week. So keep an eye into the mailbox until it comes out.
That's great.
Good.
Okay, anything else on recreation and community events? Any questions, comments? Okay, thank you very much, Councillor Tilley. And now we'll move on to Infrastructure and Public Works. Councillor Windsor and Councillor King.
Thank you, sir. Just the appropriate height here. Infrastructure and Public Works Committee did not meet in this last period since our last public meeting. We're actually meeting this Thursday. But on behalf of committee, myself, Councillor Sadie King, Director of Public Works, CAO, and yourself, Mayor, just want to provide an update on the Salmoneer Line water project. Very important project. It's been talked about here in Chambers going back a couple of years, but when we actually put shovels in the ground, it obviously generates questions and a heightened awareness for everybody. So what I wanted to do tonight is just read out an update of where we are, what's involved, and the plan as it was devised and approved by all the necessary authorities. Okay? The scope of the work for the contractors completing Samuel Line project was designed by Englobe Corporation and approved by the various government departments. Englobe, for those who are not aware of that company, is a reputable engineering consultant. It's an international company, in fact. Its offices right across Canada. The plan submitted by Englobe was approved by the Department of Environment and Climate Change, as well as a letter of approval from the Department of Fisheries and Oceans. This plan was submitted and approved in February 2023 when the scope of work was developed. The scope for the project does require one section to cross under North Arm River. There's a fully developed plan to achieve this, and the contractors and the engineers are working together to ensure the appropriate steps are taken to maintain compliance with the government-approved plan. The tree land clearing is a necessary part of completing the project and is within scope. The construction crew must safely enter the area to construct cofferdams, install pumps, complete trenching, install pipework, and lay stone. The use of cofferdams is identified as an approved means to impede and re-divert the flow of water during the actual time of crossing the river. This process is an acceptable construction method that has been approved in the plan submitted to Department of Transportation Infrastructure, Municipal Infrastructure Division, Department of Environment and Climate Change, and the Department of Fisheries and Oceans. If you're wondering what a cofferdam is, by the way, I'll explain that very briefly. It's simply a structure that's, allows you to temporarily retain and or divert the water to allow a safe and dry area to be dewatered for construction activity to be completed. It's temporary. Commonly used in many projects near water bodies. While some residents may be concerned about the work being completed, all residents should know this work is being done in accordance with all requirements and specifications of government. There is a supervisor on site appointed by the engineering company who is responsible for ensuring the work is completed by the contractor as per the government approved plans. The Town of Holyrood is working with the engineers and Department of Transportation Infrastructure, Municipal Infrastructure Division to ensure all work is completed correctly. And the area, finally, the area that is affected will have soil and seed placed upon completion to return it to a more natural appearance. I trust that's satisfactory, and if you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you.
No, that's a great report, Councillor Windsor, and thank you for that update. There has been a few residents living in that immediate vicinity who, were questioning what was going on there with the land being cleared and everything so close to the river and whatnot. There was some speculation that somebody could be building a home there or whatever. So it's great that you provided that update and that report tonight to clarify exactly what this project entails while we're in that particular area, and most importantly, the fact that when it's all completed, that there will be mitigation, to replace trees and put proper grass and all that there to try to bring it back to its natural environment. So that's it. And I got to say, from what I'm hearing, the project is going very well. I've made several trips there since they started, doing a very professional job, very tidy, and no slowdowns there. There's the light with a timer on it, so you know exactly how long you got to wait. And people are very respectful of the project that's ongoing there, and people are very patient. So the project overall, as I see it, and from what I hear, is going extremely well. So, okay, any other questions or comments on that? All right, so that's it for Public Works, Councillor Windsor?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll move on to Economic Development. Deputy Mayor Woodford, you're up again.
Hello again, everybody. The Economic Development Committee, we met on September 9th with our CAO, Marjorie Gibbons, and myself in attendance. We reviewed one business application that was referred to Planning and Development. We also discussed the Laurenti Conference that's taking place on September 25th, with a portion of it being held at the Marine Institute here. We have an opportunity to be part of that, to participate in that. We also discussed the golf tournament, the Conception Bay Area Chamber of Commerce golf tournament that took place last Thursday, September 12th at the Willows Golf Course. The town's partners with the Conception Bay Area Chamber of Commerce to host the luncheon for the group. And it was, I hear it was a great success. It was up at IBEW. While we weren't able to put in a team, unfortunately, our CAO was present and brought greetings from the town. The OHI communications coordinator has started working, and NOLA is working on developing a database of contact information that she's gathering from all of our residents in our community sector. So basically what we are looking for is to have some means of communication, your preferred means of communication with the town, so that when something arises, you are contacted through your preferred means. So expect a phone call from NOLA, because that is the easiest way for her to contact you, to get the information in real time. And this is information that is going to be kept private and confidential. It's just used for our purposes of communicating with our residents and our business community. So please, provide that information if you want to be contacted when events are happening here in Holyrood. If you want to be contacted, in case of any type of emergency procedures, or, as part of our emergency preparedness, then, provide the information on how you would like to be contacted. And we are going to look at that and then develop the measures that we need to put forward in order to action those items. I'm sure you're all aware as well that the tanks are coming down on the Valero site. Of course, they're finished up here in Holyrood, and the tanks are coming down. They should be all dismantled by the end of December. There's no fuel or anything in those tanks, so there's nothing to be concerned about within the community. But the actual metal will be taken out, will be trucked out. So, the public may see some trucks going back and forth there. Because I don't think that has happened yet. They're dismantling and then they're going to move it all out, right? Oh, they've started. Okay, they've started. So let the public be aware that yes, those trucks, that's what they're doing. They're removing the metal from the site. Hydro as well, they're doing repair work on their access road off of Duff's Road. They're repairing some erosion that has happened because of weather events, and they want the public to be aware as well that there will be trucks going in and out of that area. And I believe that's the end of our report for economic development, Mayor.
Okay, thank you very much.
I do have one motion.
Okay.
Okay. Be it resolved, the Town of Holyrood approves the lease of 46.95 acres of land situated in town centre, described in the lease document with the Government of Newfoundland and Labrador through Crown Lands. This lease provides access to this for the purposes of economic development at a cost of $9,842 per year for 10 years, with the first payment and all subsequent payments being deferred until such time that the town realizes a revenue from the sale of a parcel of land. This is the land behind the roundabout area where we have long promoted, which we have long promoted as Oceana. This lease allows the town to hold the land for business development, such as office buildings, stores, research facilities, and other such economic activity. Through a lease arrangement, the town does not acquire any cost until we have an actual buyer, in which case there is no financial burden to the town. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Woodford, seconded by Councillor King. Further discussion?
I only feel like anyone watching online to just replay that little bit so they get all the details. Right. It's very important. Right.
And, you know, there's no question, this is a project, an area within town centre that we've identified for, as we deem it, the stores. We hope, you know, and we have been working and having discussions with several companies that are interested in that area. I can't get into any details at this point, but you know, it was a long process. You know, in securing this land, we had to get our legal team involved. There were issues that arose that we had to try to navigate around. So it was a long process to try to, you know, get that area moving for development. And, you know, I've heard it from residents, and rightfully so, where people are probably saying, how come there's nothing done in that area? Well, the problem is that, you know, we ran into some legal stuff, and we were dealing with, you know, our lawyers and you know, other partners as well. So it took a fair amount of time, but we kept at it, and we have a long-term plan for that area. Interested people, interested companies in coming in, and this is a big step forward right now with securing this 46 acres of land. So things are moving forward, and we will continue to pursue that with everybody that's involved.
Yes, this 46 acres of land that we're acquiring through Crown Lands makes it affordable or feasible for the town because it's leased. If you know, that changed in government with, I guess, probably about a year ago, when you know, Crown Land, which was relatively inexpensive to purchase from Crown Lands, had jumped to fair market value. And because of that, the piece of property, the 46 acres, was not feasible for the town to be able to acquire. So they came up with this new leased type of agreement, the provincial government did. And
Which is better.
Yes, absolutely. And we were lucky enough to be able to apply for it and then for it to be granted. So that's the issue with the time frame, because things did change over that period of time, as well as some legal issues. But the acquisition of this land is for economic development. You know, it's to increase our business base here on Holyrood, and we all know that we need to increase our business base, which hopefully will reduce the burden on our residential taxpayers. So this is why that we are pushing for this 46 acres. And we, like the mayor said, we do have people that are interested in developing up there. So hopefully we're in the preliminary stages, and that will be a successful piece for the town of Holyrood's economic plan.
And equally important, you know, as time moves forward and we see that area grow and expand from an economic development point of view, we can expect to see, which is very important, long-term sustainable employment opportunities for residents of the area.
Perfect, yes.
Okay, any other questions or comments on that good news story? Okay, all those in favor? Those against? Motion is carried.
And that's it, Mayor, for economic
Okay,
development.
thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. And now we'll move on to public safety. So we have Councillor King and Councillor Tilley.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I'll go through a few of the points, and then I will turn it over to Councillor Tilley for the last portion, and I'll come back then for the resolution. We had our public safety meeting on September 10th, and those in attendance were the mayor, our CAO, she came in at halftime, Councillor Tilley, Chief Kenny, and myself. Some of the points that were discussed, we discussed again the junior firefighter program, and the fire department is looking at starting that at the same time as they start the recruiting program, which is sometime later on here in September, and they will be sending out pamphlets as well out to the schools to make people aware, which is great. The rescue vehicle, the rescue vehicle is still on schedule to come here at the end of the month. The decals were all sent up and put on her, and he looks fantastic.
We're
it's a
still
boy.
struggling over that.
Congratulations, it's a boy. No, anyway, the truck will be here around the 30th of September, and we're all looking forward to a new rescue vehicle. Route 60, there's work in progress with Route 60, so I'm just going to leave that one alone. Brush cutting and signs, we've talked about it with regards to if you drive down anywhere on Route 60, the alders are almost out to the pavement, right? And that's not joking. And this is moose season. They move around, and 2 steps, and he is in the car with you. So our Director of Public Works has contacted the Transportation Infrastructure, and we're hoping to get the brush cut at least the signage. If you come down over the hill here as you're heading down to the beach, there's a sign there that tells you go left, go right, go where. If you don't know, if you're not from Holyrood, you have absolutely no idea where to turn. So these signs all need to be cleared up, and they need to be so people can see them, because it is a major safety issue, especially somebody that's not familiar with the town of Holyrood or Route 60. It's good to be able to tell you exactly where you are if something happens. So that's not good. We talked about vandalism and roaming dogs, and we've talked about this over and over for the past 3 years. If you see something, say something. If you see people out roaming around at 3 o'clock in the morning, I mean, it's only common sense to, if you're suspicious, especially if you're going around checking doors, to call the RCMP. And if they're over at your neighbor's door, a good neighbor would call them. I mean, if somebody called me at 3 o'clock in the morning and said there's somebody out banging or trying to get into my shed, I wouldn't be mad at my neighbor for telling me, but I would be really mad at my neighbor the next day if I found out that he or she watched somebody beat into my shed and never told me. Okay, so if you see something, say something. We discussed roaming dogs, right? You know, in Springfield, Ohio, they don't have a problem with roaming dogs, right? And neither do we. We don't have a problem with roaming dogs. We have isolated incidents of dogs being out, whether they're escaped or whether they, got up on their own. People talk about, well, we need a dog catcher and we need this. But you also got to understand, in order for somebody here that works with the town to be able to go and catch a 90-pound husky, right, you got to be trained. You got to be trained how to handle the dog so you don't get hurt and neither does the dog. You got to have an appropriate vehicle to be able to put the dog in. You also have to have an appropriate place to put the dog after you catch him. We don't have that here, right? And we don't have the authority to go on someone's property and take a dog. We don't have the legal authority or any, and we do not want to put our public employees at risk because you don't know what you're getting into. That is the responsibility of the RCMP. So if you have an issue with roaming dogs or vandalism, you contact the RCMP. Okay, at this time I'm going to turn the last couple of points over to Councillor Tilley, and then we'll come back to the motion.
Thank you, sir. Councillor Tilley.
Thank you, Councillor King. There's a couple of points that I wanted to go over that we talked about in the preparedness committee meeting. the safety committee meeting. The first one was the emergency preparedness plan that you've heard us referring to multiple times here with the Town of Holyrood. Again, that is something that is ongoing. Just wanted to let everybody know that there is actually an emergency preparedness plan that was prepared by a professional, and that is done. That's been done for many years. It's a great plan. It do need some updating. And of course, with anything needing updating means time and resources in order to do it. So the town has put forth for some funding to see if we can get some funding to get somebody to actually hire or funds allotted to get the emergency preparedness plan updated. But I just wanted to add it out there that we do have a plan. It's a good, solid plan. It just needs a little tweaking, we'll say. It needs to be a little bit more exact on some things, but it is there. The bones are there. And if anything do happen, we have the resources, the skills, and we have the plan there that we can follow by. The other thing that we wanted to talk about was a prevention session. As you know, in the past, we've tried to do some prevention sessions for the public, either with RCMP or any kind of authority group, just to kind of bring as much as prevention safety into the community as we can. One of the programs that the local ground search and rescue team does here is actually a national-wide program that is sponsored, endorsed through SARVEC, which is the Search and Rescue Volunteer Sector of Canada, and is actually called Adventure Smart. So what it does, it has two big phases that they really concentrate on. One is for the younger kids, which I'm sure any parents or anybody with small kids out there would have known. It's called the Hug a Tree. So Hug a Tree is where the local search and rescue teams have trained professionals that are trained nationally on how to present these programs. They go into schools, groups, and they talk about telling your little kids how to prevent from getting lost. And if they do get lost, what's going to happen? They also have a program called Survive Outside for us older kids. This is a program that's taught every year. The sessions are done every year through Becoming an Outdoors Woman and other groups the same. Basically designed for young adults and older. It teaches you the 3 T's, so your trip plan, your take the essentials and learn, do your training for what you're doing. It's a great program. It's free of charge. And it is sponsored through Search and Rescue Volunteer Sector of Canada. So the local search and rescue group here, Central Avalon Ground Search and Rescue, would like to do a session for the town. It's absolutely no charge to the town. It's open to any public. Again, is more encouraged for young adults and adults than it is smaller kids. Take about 45 minutes to an hour to do. And then, of course, you can always have question and answers after. But it's a great program that is recognized. If anyone wants to do any research on it, adventuresmart.ca, you will see all the programs that are there. And again, it's something that we're working with the search and rescue and the town to try to come up with a time. We'll give time and a location. We give lots of advance notice, and it's open for general public to come and do a little bit of preparedness safety. We hope going forward this is something that we can do on a regular basis, haul in different groups and try to do some prevention safety, because we'd rather have prevention safety than we would having an emergency of any kind. So again, adventuresmart.ca, or speak to somebody from the local search and rescue team here, and they'll be able to give you information. But other than that, just keep an eye on social media and posts, and we'll see if we can work out a date that works for everybody. I'll pass it back now to my partner in crime there.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Tilley, and yes, that sounds like a great initiative.
That's a great program for all ages.
Excellent. Councillor King.
I just want to add to, if people out there, residents got suggestions with regards to public safety, something that they would like to see more of, like what Councillor Tilley just said, Adventure Smart or anything else, bring it forward, and if it's feasible and it can be done and it makes logical sense, which I'm sure most of it would, we will make every effort to try to make it happen, like Adventure Smart and things like that. Okay. This here is a resolution with regards to the new fire chief. But before I get into the new resolution, I just want to say a few words about the outgoing fire chief. Uh, Leslie Kenny has been the interim fire chief now for quite a few months. Personally, and this is a personal opinion, I enjoyed working with her. I found her to be very professional, switched on. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's a great asset to the Holyrood Fire Department. And the best part of all of it is her expertise and her knowledge is staying here, which is great for the incoming fire chief, because if he's got questions and concerns, then it's only down the hallway and the questions can be answered. So that having Leslie there is a major plus, because she was the fire chief and she also has the knowledge and experience to be able to pass that information on to the incoming fire chief, which is in these types of situations is an absolute valuable asset to have. So anyway, I'll get to the resolution. Be it resolved, the Town of Holyrood approves the hiring of Trevor Rideout as the new fire chief at Holyrood Fire Department. A job search was issued for this position, and there were 16 applicants, 8 of whom were given interviews, and Trevor was the candidate selected through a scoring process of both resume and interview. So moved.
Moved by Councillor King, seconded by Councillor Tilley. Further discussion? And I did have an opportunity to meet our incoming fire chief the other day at an event that was held by the province over at the Fire Hall, including the Premier and the Minister of Justice and Public Safety regarding the funding for new self-contained breathing apparatus. So I had a little chat with Mr. Rideout, and he comes across as very personable, very approachable. From what I understand, he had a tremendous interview. He comes highly qualified. He's got all the credentials and more. So I think he's going to work very well with his the composite department, with the staff, along with the volunteers and the staff here in the town and council. So we look forward to working with him. And to reiterate what Bruce just mentioned about Leslie, she stepped up to the plate when the former chief accepted a position with the province, and she jumped right in. There was a lot of learning curves there, which she had to, learn pretty quick. And she did just that. She did a great job, and we certainly appreciate the great work that she has done for the department and the town during that time. And I will say that Leslie, it was of her decision. It was her decision to step back from the chief's position and revert back to the position that she previously held. Okay, so I just wanted to make that clear. And that was for reasons of her own reasoning, that she wanted to step back from that position. But we certainly want to thank her for all she has done, and I think because she will be on staff, and I think that she will work very well with the incoming new fire chief, along with the staff and the volunteers at the department. So, any other questions or comments before we move to the vote? If not, all those in favor, please raise your hands. Contrary-minded, motion is carried. Okay, so that's it for public safety. Thank you very much, folks. And now we'll move on to communications. Councillor Crowley.
Good evening, everyone. I want to apologize to my fellow councillors. I have been a little out of touch in some of the meetings. I haven't been able to make all the meetings lately. So it's just, new year getting started and things like that. So new positions for me outside of council, and it's just taken. So I do apologize. I know I've missed some emails, I've missed some appointments, so I apologize. So our communications, we're kind of going in line with, I wasn't there at the meeting, but we did still talk about, and Deputy Mayor brought up about NOLA Edison coming on and trying to gather up that database. But something that has struck us over and over and over again is our cell phone service, and that's what I just want to touch base on tonight, because something comes to mind: stronger together, all the time. So everything you do in life, we're stronger together, and that's what the motion is about today. And I know that many businesses, many personal groups are coming together to try to fight and figure out what they can do to better the cell phone service. It is not unique to our town. It is not unique to the Avalon Peninsula. It's right across. It is deteriorating very quickly, and everyone can tell that. And no matter, what they say, they switches they flip, and new equipment that they're talking about turning on, it just does not seem to be getting better. And we all know how much money we are paying out to many, many providers for this service that we are not getting. And it is not because we want to reach out to our friends and have a chat. It is a matter of public safety, as Councillor King has brought up many, many times. It is drop calls. It is trying to call your family, trying to find out if your kids are home from school, if they're safe, trying to make sure someone's there to pick them up or where they're going if you're going to be late. There's sick parents, older elderly you're trying to check on, and all of these keep resulting in drop calls. And there's, as per instructions, they told us to call them when there's drop calls, which of course is an oxymoron in itself, because if you don't have the service, you can't call them. However, I did that, and I kept doing that, so when I'd get back to a landline or I'd get back to a serviceable area, nothing's changing, and of course I'm just one person. But everyone has been trying. So our motion here tonight is, there's a bit of a process to this. So we want to group together, and Councillor King has been very vocal on this as well, and attended an MNL conference where many municipalities had the same concern and had the same issue. So I'll read out our motion, and then we can have a discussion on it as per regulations. Be it resolved, the Town of Holyrood requests municipalities, Newfoundland and Labrador, to lobby Bell Canada, and just put a caveat, it is because they own the equipment, to improve access to cell service to every community in each region of the province. The reliability of a consistent cell service is a key component of the economic productivity of communities, and the current level of service being provided lacks reliability and consistency. In all areas of the province, cell phone service is vital to emergency response and the safety of people. The current service delivery cannot be accepted, and we ask municipalities, Newfoundland and Labrador, to intervene on behalf of all communities to seek improvement in cell service. This will improve safety for all residents and will support the sustainability of communities, as well as improve overall quality of life for residents and municipalities across Newfoundland, Labrador. So moved.
Okay, moved by Councillor Crawley. Could I have a seconder, please? Seconded by Deputy Mayor. Further discussion?
So reason being, and I know you're going to discuss it, just wanted to credit why we're doing this step is because, again, separately, we're kind of shouting into the wind, but if we approach M&L to act on our behalf and on everyone's municipality's behalf, then we can hopefully be stronger together. So, Councillor King, did you? Oh, sorry.
You're up.
Drop mic. Thank you, Councillor Crowley. First of all, I want to commend the Communications Committee for this resolution. I think it's fantastic, and Councillor Crowley is absolutely correct, because one municipality trying to get anywhere ahead with Bell Canada is
Mission
probably
impossible.
yeah. But when you've got 278 municipalities, which includes the entire province, you have a much better chance. Will we be successful? Nobody knows, but there's a very good chance that we will, right? And this motion, once it's passed, because I'm sure it'll be passed here, it will go to M&L at their convention in, I think it's the 7th, 8th, and 9th of November, I think. And it'll be voted on there as well. So then you have the full impact of municipalities, Newfoundland and Labrador behind it. And there's already, I know the mayor of Deer Lake has already been on talking about it. There was one of those petitions.org that popped up on my computer the other day from somebody, I won't mention any names, who's doing the exact same thing of a petition of trying to improve service. So the more people talk about this and get it out into the public eye and keep the heat on it, the more opportunities we have for success. So I mean, it's great. You know, Bell Canada is a giant company, okay, and I mean, I mentioned before, in the past 8 years, the Liberal government in Ottawa has given Bell Canada almost $500 million between Bell Canada and Bell subsidiaries and stuff like that. And the province here as well. There a couple of years ago, they gave, between the province and the federal government, they gave them $90+ million. So they're not poor people. You're not talking about a poor company. And we're also, us here as residents, we're paying the biggest kind of fees for the worst kind of service. Okay, so in actual fact, residents are paying Bell Canada 3 times through your tax dollars, through the federal government, through tax dollars to the provincial government, and through our own subscribing to Bell. So I hope this has a much better chance after today of being successful than it did an hour ago. Thank you very much.
So I'm very confident that this motion will pass tonight. So just to clarify, at the upcoming convention, the Town of Holyrood will have a resolution put in place, which whoever will be attending the convention representing the town, there is a resolution session that's set aside, and then you will make your resolution, and then there's discussion amongst the group, and then it's voted on. Once it's voted on, and if passed, which I feel extremely confident that it will be, then it goes to the appropriate government department for further analysis and review. So that really, you know, like you say, I mean, one municipality, and we've been trying to do that as a town for the last few years, but you're just spinning your wheels. You're dealing with a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. So we need to, you know, band together as a province because, you know, we all know the cell service is poor right across the province. It's not acceptable, and we said that we were going to fight the fight, and we're going to lead the way on this, and we'll bring the resolution to the convention, and then we'll let the delegates, they're voting on that, you know, have their say on it, and then off to the minister's office it goes. So we're going to keep her going.
I was gonna say, okay.
Yeah, and I mean, this has been an ongoing process for the committee as well, because we started out with talks with representatives from Bell, and we were hoping to, you know, get something from those talks, and that kind of went on for several months, if not a year. And then we have sent letters to our MHA and our MP, and detailing the poor service and how it's a safety concern for a lot of people in residential and rural areas, especially where you either have cell phone, but you need a landline because you can't get through on a cell phone. So this is the next step, and hopefully this will be the step where something will get resolved. So that's all I wanted to add on.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's definitely time for some action. And if anyone's wondering, like, again, just out there curious why it's Bell, Bell owns the equipment in Newfoundland, the cell phone towers and the boosters and the equipment and stuff like that. And the other TELUS and Virgin and everyone else uses their
Feed
towers.
off of that. Yep.
That's why. Okay.
Okay, so the motion was moved and seconded. All those in favor? Those against? Motion is carried. And off to the races we go with that one.
Thank you. I just stayed
All right,
standing.
so you can stay on your toes there, Councillor Crowley, for Corporate Service and Administration update.
Yeah, so the biggest thing from our Corporate Services Administration is our upcoming budget consultations. So this year, there will be information in the flyer that was referred to by Councillor Tilly that'll be in your mailboxes next week. And there are various ways for the consultation. We have in-person consultation where you can call in, request a private meeting that we can, you can lay out your information and your concerns, comments. You can also email it in or send a letter. We're also going to go back to our survey that we had last year as well. We found we engaged a number of people through that, and we just want to make as many possible means out there as possible, make it available to as many possible as we can. So look for that coming up. Other than that, we just have our regular accounts. We met, Councillor Tilly again mentioned our Squid Fest. We had a very healthy Squid Fest revenue, which was fantastic, which cycles back in. And that's our budget states that we expect the Recreation Department to have a certain amount of revenue every year, which covers our expenditures as well. Anything else?
Nope, good.
Okay. So just to pay the bills, as Mayor says, be it resolved, those accounts tabled in the amount of $235,193.40. Check numbers 46213 to 46290 and D4289 to D4363 be approved for payment from the general account. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Crowley, seconded by Councillor King. Further discussion? If not, all those in favor, those against, motion is carried.
Okay. And we have a healthy bank book balance of $88,525.30.
That's great. We're in the third quarter, heading for the home stretch for the end of the year. Okay. All right. With that, we'll do the new business. I'll do the go around, starting with the Deputy Mayor.
Nothing for me, Mayor.
Okay, Councillor King.
That's my line. I just have one point, that's all, and I'll keep it quick. On January 27, 2004, Corporal Jamie Murphy became the first Newfoundlander, Labradorian, to be killed in the Afghan conflict. Okay? He was killed by a suicide bomber while on patrol. This year, 2024, represents the 20th anniversary of that incident. The Beautification Committee / Town Committee has been working in Conception Harbour to try to refurbish the monument through donations, fundraisers, and all the different ways of raising money. And they've done, I would say they've done an absolutely fantastic job. The monument looks great. They're still putting the finishing touches on it, stuff like that. But on September 28th, they're going to rededicate the monument again, and there's going to be a ceremony there. They encourage as many people, in more particular veterans, but also anybody else that would like to attend. They also want to make people aware that on the 28th, the ceremony starts around 1 o'clock, but they also want to make people aware there could be traffic delays, and because they are expecting quite a few people. So just to be aware that if you're traveling through Conception Harbour on the 28th around noon to 1 o'clock, you may run into some traffic. So everybody is welcome. They've done a fantastic job, and myself, I look forward to attending. Thank you.
And Councillor King, if I could add, I understand that you've been involved in this, so.
I am part of the committee, and we've managed to hunt down a bugler for the ceremony, and we're working on a piper now. So I don't have the lungs to be a piper, so hopefully anybody here know how to play bagpipe on that. So anyway, but I've been working with them with regards to fundraising, especially through Veterans Affairs, because there is a lot of money within Veterans Affairs for particular, especially things like monuments or anything dedicated to veterans, and more so veterans that have lost their life in conflicts and stuff like that. And they have been pretty successful. And so in conjunction with Veterans Affairs, the MP, the MHA, and all the other people, there's a whole slew of people involved in this. So I'm just one of many. But the lead and everything else is being done by the residents of Conception.
Okay. Well, we thank you for your involvement, for sure. Okay, Councillor Crawley.
The only thing I want to mention is that before we meet again, we will be recognizing Truth and Reconciliation Day on September the 30th. And this is in recognition of all the Indigenous peoples who were sent to residential schools. It is to recognize and remember those who survived and those who never returned home. So hopefully, everyone can take a moment of their day on the 30th to take a moment and remember all those people who did not have a choice of where they went or what happened to their lives.
Sad, sad story of the past. Yeah. Councillor Tilley.
I just wanted to add just a little hats off for our current fire chief that is stepping down. So when I started out as a councillor in the by-election, I was coming into the emergency preparedness meetings, and I was a little bit, I wonder what I'm, trying to get my feet wet with it. And she was also the same. She was just recently, after stepping in to help out while our current fire chief stepped away to his new job. And it was great to work with her. It was great to learn together, to work together on expanding and getting knowledge. And I got to say the town of Holyrood is very lucky that we're still keeping her for her knowledge and her passion for the town and for the fire department. I also want to give a big shout out to our new fire chief that's coming. I look forward to working with him in the emergency preparedness aspect as well as the council and staff, I'm sure, are as well. So I just wanted to do a hats off to the fire department.
Okay, thank you very much, Councillor Tilley. Councillor King.
I'd just like to say I'm really glad to see that Active for Life is coming back online. I've had a lot of calls over the past couple of weeks about Active for Life. And the good thing about Active for Life, we think of it as an exercise program, but it's a big social life for some of our seniors. They can't get out at night, and this is in the daytime, and they really look forward to it. So I'm really glad. Thank you, Carl. I'll ask the council for getting this back online, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Councillor Windsor, you can wrap it up.
No, sir. Thank you.
You're good. Okay. All right, folks, that is the agenda. Date of the next meeting is October the 15th at 6 p.m. Could I have a motion to adjourn, please? Moved by Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Crawley. All those in favor? Those against? Meeting stands adjourned.